Good afternoon, Eric the Racket Scientist here, and today I have for you another pickleball paddle, and this is my other, I guess what I would call legit pickleball paddle, the first one being the Vatic. What I have here is a bread and butter Shogun, which is kind of an interesting paddle. Again, I'm not super into, not a very high level pickleball player, but I just wanted to do another video on this one to showcase it and then redo the grip. And whereas the last video with the Vatic was a little bit more explanatory, where I spent more time explaining why you should change your overgrip or explaining the kind of reasoning behind maintaining the grip on your paddle. This one's going to be more straightforward, just grip along video where I'm just going to do the grip and I'm going to try not to talk too much. Okay, this is a paddle I definitely bought partly because of looks, because I think it looks really cool. Apparently this carbon fiber on the face has metal fibers. I believe it was titanium woven into it. Yes, so it actually says that here. 16 millimeter thermoformed unibody carbon fiber and titanium weave. So my understanding is that this is not very common in pickleball paddles, so this is, could be a gimmick. Nevertheless, it looks very cool. So we got the logo, we have some Japanese characters, which is cool. We also have some on the edge as well. And similar to my last paddle, you can see that I have an overgrip on this paddle, but I'm going to take it off because the grip is too large for my taste. So basically today what we're going to do is we're going to regrip this by taking the undergrip off and then kind of cleaning it up, wrapping with electrical tape, and then we're going to put the overgrip back on. So that's what we're going to do here. And in order to do this, I don't need that many tools. Really all I need is my overgrip mainly, an electrical tape, some cushion wrap, some Goo Gone to clean up the adhesive, but most of this is optional, and if you were really going to just put an overgrip on, you can just do that. That's all you need. If you want to take the undergrip off and put an overgrip on, again, you don't need to clean it at all. You don't need to put any fancy stuff on, so you don't need all of this stuff. But it's kind of just a nice to have, and it's how I personally prefer to do that. So let's get right into it. So now, as I'm taking this off, you can already see why I like to put electrical tape on the handle once I take the undergrip off, because when you put an overgrip on your handle, whether it's on this grip or not, or on directly on the handle, your overgrips will kind of, maybe disintegrate a little bit, will leave residue and stuff like that. And so putting electrical tape on your handle once you remove this will help protect your handle from that sort of thing, and that's kind of proof of that. So next we're going to go ahead and take off the grip here. This electrical tape. It's kind of a shame because this grip is a pretty nice color. I really like the neon yellow, so kind of a shame, but we're going to take that off. Coming off pretty cleanly, which is nice. And already we can see some similarity to the other paddles that I've done, which is that you can see the carbon fiber handle extending here, and then you have these plastic extrusions that give the handle its shape. And we have a bunch of adhesive stuck around the bottom of the handle. So first step, if there's any loose double-sided tape left on here, peel off what you can with your fingers. It's a little bit easier. But if there's a lot of this tape and it's kind of gross or annoying, then you can go right to using the Goo Gone, which I have over there. It's not coming off that easily, so we're going to jump straight into this. So give this a go. Okay, so sometimes it can take a while to get that off, but Patience is key there, and you don't ever need to get all of it off. It's I prefer my racket handles to be very clean, so I try to be thorough about it, but your mileage may vary, and honestly, you're probably never gonna notice if you leave some of that adhesive on, so it's totally fine if you choose not to. All right, so now that we're done with that, let's put that to the side. So once you've got your handle clean or not, the next thing I like to do is put electrical tape on the handle. And again, like the other steps, this is also optional, so you do not have to do this. Nevertheless, it is something that I personally like to do. And so what I do is I start out by going around the top of the handle twice, just to make sure that it's anchored on nicely. And then I start wrapping up the handle. Like so. And okay, then we finish. Sometimes it can be good to go around a couple times at the bottom of the handle with the tape, just to make sure it doesn't come off. And after you've done that, if you want to add some cushioning, if you're someone who feels like there's a lot of impact from the paddle on your hand, then you can add some of this cushion wrap. This is very thin, so if you want a lot of cushioning, then you'll probably want to do quite a few layers. I usually do 2 layers. 2 layers is pretty thin, or you can go with the 0 if you really like to feel your bevels. And then after you have that on, which is also optional, you don't need to put cushion wrap on either. Then you can get to gripping your paddle. We start with our overgrip, and you can use either side. If you prefer a clean look for your overgrip to end cleanly at the edge, then you should use the tapered end. And if you don't care, then you can do it the other way. I prefer to start with the square end because then I can end with the tapered end, and it leaves a kind of a cleaner line here. Otherwise, if you start with the tapered end and end at the top with the square end, then you're going to have to cut it. You're going to have to cut your own taper into it so that it ends cleanly. So we're going to go ahead and start. Okay, we want to go around once to hold it in place. And then I'll usually do maybe another half turn, and then we'll start going down the handle like so. And you can either do a full overlap, so that means the previous layer comes up to here, which means that when I look at the previous layer here, I kind of align it with the edge here, and then the grip will be more smooth. But you can also create ridges by spacing them out more, and so it just depends on your preference. You can try both because overgrips are pretty cheap, so it really doesn't cost a lot to try out both and then to stick with the method that feels better for you. So you can see that I've ended the grip near the top with my taper, and that it looks pretty nice. Okay, and then since we've gone all the way up, then I need to seal it. So you can either use electrical tape or you can just put the rubber band directly on it. Either way works. If you've made it to the top of your handle and you feel like you have too much excess grip, or you would like maybe you feel like the grip is going too far up the handle, you can always trim it with a scissor, or you can just keep wrapping it in the same spot, but it's going to give you kind of a weird lump here. In my case, it looks pretty good, so I think I'm probably going to leave it. And again, you can either use electrical tape to seal this, or most overgrips will come with one of these, which is just a little sticker that will help you kind of seal the grip. So I'm going to use one of these here. I'll take it and we'll stick it right there on the end. Oops, on the end. And then we're just going to wrap it around in a circle around the handle, keeping a little bit of tension, but you don't want to stretch it too much. Okay, and the sticker sometimes will be enough, but it's possible for this sticker to come undone too, which is why it's nice to have the rubber band. You can put that on top of there and it will not come off. Okay, so get that right there, and then over here. Okay, and there you have it. This is my bread and butter Shogun regripped. So if you took the time to watch this video, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.